Greetings everyone and welcome to the 6:15 the prime time news in the English language on Canal International. I'm called Morendi and we begin with the top stories. As a result of the October 12 presidential election, as still awaited predictions are running rampant in the political affair. Two camps are clashing and debating the outcome of the polls, that of candidate Issa Churuma Bakari and that of Paul Biya of the CPD. Will tell you more in this edition of Newscast. And the 15 days wait for the results after the polls seem too long. This has given way to what can be termed publication ballots, while some are outright with their congratulations, others do so in a subtle manner. The press releases by aspirants about a victory, condemnation, warning, and a call for calm among men. We'll tell you more equally in this edition of Newscast. We equally talk about crumbling roads in Douala. Deteriorating road conditions are taking a toll on residents, demanding vehicles, endangering lives, and threatening small businesses. Those are major stories. Details right ahead. Welcome to the 6:15 news, prime time news in the English language on Canal International. Now, in Douala, deteriorating roads conditions are taking a toll on residents, demanding vehicles, endangering lives, and threatening small businesses across the city. From Dakar Market to Peka 14, residents are facing the same struggle. Motorbike riders are forced into pavements to escape created roads. Sherifa Saleh is a reporter on that bit.
This taxi driver kneels by his car, changing a punctured tire under the scorching sun. It is a routine he knows all too well. Garage because of bad roads. We try our best not to damage our vehicles, but we end up always in the garage spending money. Across the city, especially in the Douala 3 subdivision, the story is the same. At Dakar Market, roadside vendors display their goods perilously close to the tarmac, but danger lurks nearby.
It's terrible. You see, I almost hit a lady here who was standing beside selling, but the council, they are doing nothing. They cannot fix the road and they cannot even remove those who are around the road selling for security.
La route, c'est à ce niveau-là, c'est vraiment catastrophe. La circulation, ça ne va pas. Il y a des accidents tout le jour ici. Les motos tombent là-bas tout le temps, chaque temps.
Further up in Doksimbi, residents describe a constant scene of chaos. Accidents, they say, occur daily. Motorbike riders struggling to navigate craters and potholes are often forced onto sidewalks, putting pedestrians at grave risk.
Nous avons déjà eu trop d'accidents par ici.
We have had numerous accidents on this route. Bike riders fall here every day.
Tous les jours sont des accidents.
At Peka 14, the situation mirrors that of many other neighborhoods. Here too, poor road maintenance has turned what should be routine circulation into a daily struggle.
Ça nous fatigue, ça nous donne la paresse. Tous les jours, il y a des accidents là. En une journée, on ne peut pas manquer le cas d'accidents, près de 3-4 cas d'accidents par jour.
Residents are calling on city authorities to take urgent action. They argue that the bad roads are not only hampering business, but also putting lives at risk. Until then, for many in Douala, a simple drive to work or the market remains a dangerous journey through potholes and frustration.
In the political, it is Churuma Bakari and that of candidates, FSNC candidate claim of victory. The Minister of Territorial Administration issued a statement this afternoon. Let's watch in this story by our reporter Haisencha.
While the battle of numbers after the poll is prevailing and Cameroonians are burning with impatience to know who will be their president for the next 7 years, Issa Chiroma Bakari, a candidate in the October 12 presidential election, declares himself the winner following the trends from the polling units across the country. The FSNC candidate claims a landslide victory and invites voters to defend their vote.
And this choice must be respected. I call on all institutions, all administrative authorities, all officials, not to make themselves enemy of the people they are meant to serve. The time of fear, manipulation, and false calculation is over. The only camp that matters today is that of Cameroon.
On the other hand, the Minister of Territorial Administration, government's agent in electoral matters, sees the declaration as problematic and a non-respect of the entire process. In a communique, he denounces what he termed the irresponsibility of the former member of government, claiming that he was unable to place representatives in all polling stations. Paul Atanganji reminds candidates with the legal framework, giving assurances about the continuation of the ongoing electoral process. But Issa Chiroma Bakari underlines the dispositions on Section 113 of the Electoral Code, which demands the immediate publication of results in each polling unit after the voting.
In the coming days, I will share with you a detailed report of your vote by region as compiled from the result publicly posted in accordance with Article 113 of the Electoral Code in polling stations across the countries and the diaspora.
In the same communique, the minister warns that he will not hesitate to use his pass on the FSNC candidate if he persists with the outings.
And the 15 days wait for the results after the polls seem too long. These has given way to what can be others, though so in subtle manner, the press releases by aspirants as of about victory, condemnation, a warning, and a call for calm, among others. Beatrice Ngamo has been going through the releases that were published today. Her story.
The Cameroon Liberation Movement CLM party this October 14 addressed a congratulatory message to Issa Chiroma Bakari on his historic and well-deserved victory as the third president of the Republic of Cameroon. Success Congo and party says the people of Cameroon have spoken with courage and clarity. Akaremuna, on his part, sees the election as a new dawn, adding, the collective will of Cameroonian people have illuminated the way forward. He uses a subtle way to salute the efforts of the outgoing president for his years of service, concluding that he now holds the power to offer one last historic gift to the nation. The CPDM party, on their part, firmly denounced the figures prefabricated by candidates in violation of the Electoral Code, adding, a hidden firm office cannot substitute the Constitutional Council. The release, signed by Communications Secretary of the Central Committee and member of the Political Bureau, Jacques Famindongo, uses 4 points to expatiate the issues. That it is a grotesque farce, disgraceful hoax, unacceptable forfeiture in a state governed by the rule of law, massive rape of conscience provocation, ending by calling on their militants to remain calm, serene, and vigilant. The CDU presidential candidate on her part was on the vote and irregularities that marked the process all over the national territory. Her team, she said, filed reports of polling stations set up in private homes, inaccessible locations, fictitious and non-accessible polling stations. Honorable Tomaino Ndamjoya made it clear that their policy is not that of pitting one candidate against the other, but rather of truth against manipulation of justice. Concluding, the CGU would always remain on the side of the people, faithful in its mission to rebuild trust, rehabilitate justice, and restore meaning to democracy. The publication ballots floating the social media since yesterday, 15 days of wait while the vote counting commission finishes and hands to the Constitutional Council to proclaim the winner of the presidential election.
The voting might be over, but Cameroon's electoral process is far from being complete. What happens after the polls close is a tightly regulated series of steps designed to guarantee transparency, accuracy, and fairness. From vote counting to announcement of final results, each phase is crucial to confirming the country's next president. Let's watch in the following story. Cameroon's presidential election on Sunday, October 12, mobilized millions of citizens across the country. As outlined by the Electoral Code, the post-vote process is strictly regulated to ensure transparency, credibility, and legitimacy of the results. Once polling stations close, the vote counting begins immediately under the supervision of the polling station presidents, electoral staff, party representatives, and accredited observers. The results are recorded in an official report, procès-verbal, detailing the number of votes received by each candidate at that specific station. This document is signed by all present officials and serves as first official proof of results at the local level. The results from each polling station are then transmitted to the competent electoral constituencies. These constituencies compile all results from their respective polling stations and submit them to ELECAM, Elections Cameroon. This compilation process must be completed within 48 hours after the last polling station closes. Once all data is centralized, ELECAM publishes provisional results within 15 days after the election. While considered official, these results remain provisionary and are open to legal challenges. If any irregularities or signs of fraud are suspected, candidates or concerned individuals have 48 hours after the provisional results are announced to file complaints within the Constitutional Council. This institution is responsible for examining petitions, verifying the credibility of the election process, and ruling on the validity of the results. It may annul results in certain areas or even suspend the votes in zones with proven irregularities. If no major issues are found, the Constitutional Council proceeds to proclaim the final results. It has a maximum of 15 days after the announcement of provisional results to do so. This proclamation is crucial. It is the step that legally confirms the winner of the election. Once declared, the elected president officially takes office and begins their mandate in accordance with the Constitution. The hearing of Martinez Zogo case continued yesterday at the military court in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé, or was going on well until witness came up requesting a rebroadcast of Martinez Zogo's last program to prove his point. The lawyers opposed the proposal, which they say will not only be time-consuming, but might have been re-edited. The case was then adjourned to November 3, 2025. More on that with our reporter, Beatrice Ngamo.
The Martinez Zogo case hearing has been scheduled for next November 3rd, 2025 at the Yaoundé Military Tribunal. During yesterday's hearing, when one witness, that is the editor-in-chief of Amplitude FM, Charlie Chouamou, took to the stand to give his own version of the truth regarding the Makaba case, his removal of a USB key led to the interruption of his testimony. He wanted the rebroadcast of Martinez Zogo's last program to tell.
Because the person was supposed to adduce evidence, said he could not do it exactly with the words that Martinez used. So he wanted to adduce the key, and the court rejected it because it did not meet up with the exigencies of antique. The body in charge of validating, authentifying audiovisual tapings, recordings.
Motion vehemently opposed by several defense lawyers who thought it is not the place and time. Others hold that if they are to cover all 3 days of the program, it will take over 7 hours. But if they are having a key of 2 hours, it means a lot has been edited. And when looking for the truth, all needs to be revealed.
Comme vous l'avez observé, nous nous sommes opposés et le tribunal nous a suivis sur ce point.
Donc si on multipliait 2h30 fois 3, c'est-à-dire les émissions des 15, 16 et 17, on aurait pu normalement avoir 7h30. Or, s'il n'y a que 2 heures, ça veut dire qu'on a dû travailler sur la clé. Or, en ayant travaillé sur la clé, il y a un risque d'altération du contenu.
Aller au siège d'Amplitude FM, écouter les bandes pour être sûr que ce qu'on voulait faire écouter au public vient bien de cette radio.
So the court is now going down there on the application of the State Council, Commissaire du gouvernement, that they should go and verify effectively that document contained in that USB key is authentic or exists.
The objective then of the judicial site visit, that is visit to Amplitude FM radio, scheduled for 21st October 2025. Information which will help them to continue hearing on the case next November 3rd at the Military Tribunal in Yaoundé.
And a group of young men are transforming wooden pallet into profitable furniture. What many see as useless waste, they see it as opportunity with determination, creativity, and limited resources. Our reporter, Saleh Sharifa, has more.
In Douala stands a small open-air workshop. Here, a group of determined young craftsmen turning waste wood into works of art. The raw material, the wooden pallets often dumped behind shops and warehouses, transform into stylish, eco-friendly furniture, winning hearts across Douala.
It usually comes inside containers. So when it goes, they upload the goods and sell the pallet to us. From there now, we take it and fabricate things.
Each piece of furniture is carefully crafted to highlight the natural beauty of the wood. The designs are simple yet elegant, and customers praise them for their durability and charm.
We make chairs, we do things, different type of things. If you have any picture, like if you have a picture of anything you want to do with pallet, you bring it, we can do it.
Prices range between 10,000 and 18,000 CFA francs, making the products affordable to a wide range of buyers.
Je suis également convaincu que c'est moins de coûts comparativement à tout ce qui vient de l'extérieur et tout.
C'est résistant.
These pallets are very resistible, more than those plastic chairs we buy every day. With plastic chairs, they get bad easily, whereas these pallets stay longer.
Définitif, c'est résistant.
For some of these craftsmen, the pallet business is more than a job. It's a launch pad for bigger dreams.
My hard-earned money from here, I use it to pursue my dreams.
By turning discarded materials into valuable goods, these young men are not only earning a living, but also promoting sustainability and innovation.
And that report brings us to the end of the 6:15 primetime news in the English language. Brett, before we go read this official disclaimer, the president and CEO of Group Canal, Emmanuel Chachwe, formally denies the claims published on October 13, 2025 by blogger Paul Chuta, alleging his involvement in fraudulent activities related to the presidential election in Cameroon. These allegations are entirely false, unfounded, and defamatory, causing serious harm to Emmanuel Chachwe's honor, reputation, and professional integrity. He strongly dissociates himself from such accusations and vehemently protests the unauthorized use of his name in what appears to be an attempt to mislead public opinion. We'll come back to that in our subsequent editions of Newscast. And that brings us to the end of this edition of the 6:15 Newscast on Canal International. Thanks so much for watching. We'll have more news coming up at exactly this never Senkan. Alenshis Lekanga. For me, it's goodbye.